All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity, eternity, the universe, the stars, the earth, the oceans, the mountains, the seas, the valleys, the clouds, all creeping things, humanity, and all there is. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. Hello, family. We are back together again, and I am before you, as you know, in the greatest of honor, humility, privilege, and pleasure to make presentation. And we are here to expand and increase our knowledge of our history as we were driven out of our homeland in this next episode of The Slave Trade, Part 2. And to the scattered tribes of the house of Israel, wherever you may be on earth, I love you. My continuous petition in prayer for your care and safety. And to my brothers and sisters of the world, my pending Israelite family, those who call themselves the melanated and Moors, the original man and children of God, the sovereigns and sojourners, the copper-colored, the people of color, the aboriginals and indigenous, the natives, Negroes and niggas, the African Americans and blacks, the descendants of slaves, and those conquered and colonized. Oh yes, come on in, family, to the Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit den. You know the fire is glowing. You know the coffee and the cocoa and the tea is ready. The brownies and the donuts are super sweet. The furniture is super soft. The carpet is nice and ready for you to saunter through with your bare feet. We are giving hugs. We are giving love. We are coordinated in our consensual assembly as we have surrendered our common carnalities and we have our cranial universes exposed. We have that cranial cortex uncovered. We have our souls open so that we may receive the fire and the heat of the cosmic information that we will be absorbing and ingesting and deliberating upon today. And it is a wonderful experience to continue the explorations of our nation as we continue in the initiation of the reconciliation of the children of Israel back to the Holy Covenant. All praises. And we began in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6 of the Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit standards. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. Fortified by our second eternal standard in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 8, in reference to the holy anointed Messiah, the wonderful, the Redeemer, the King of Israel, whom the world refers to as Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever. All right, family, so we have our sword and our shield, and we are ready for this spiritual battle to consume this information for the expansion of the history never taught to us or hidden, or we just didn't find. No problem. I found it. I will read it for you. All praises. And we will be continuing our review of this historical migration of the diaspora of the nation of Israel. So we are in the book of Babylon to Timbuktu by brother Dr. Rudolph R. Windsor. And so once again, we want to make a quick distinction on some of the language. If you hear the term Jewish, the actual term is Judean. The Judeans were the three tribes that were in the land at the time of the Roman destruction, as well as some of the remnants of the northern 9 tribes of Israel. But the primary 3 tribes were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And our holy anointed prophet Messiah came out of the king tribe of Judah. So we are not Jewish. We are the Judeans. All right, and we began from Babylon to Timbuktu. And where we left off, we had witnessed where over 1 million Judeans fled into northern Africa from Roman persecution. And the Roman slave markets were full of black Judean slaves. And we continue. The Judean philosopher Philo, about 40 BC through 40 AD, who lived in Alexandria, Egypt, said that 1 million Jews resided in Libya and Egypt from the Katabormos to the border of Ethiopia. Professor A.H. Godby says that Philo leaves us doubtful about which boundaries of Ethiopia he means. I think that Philo meant the western and southern boundaries of Ethiopia because of the prophet Zephaniah mentioned. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, the daughters of my dispersed. There was a period of over 600 years between Zephaniah and Philo. And considering the new waves of immigration coming into Africa, they had 600 years to penetrate toward all the borders of Ethiopia. E. Schurer wrote that Hebrewism was detectable by its inscription from the Egyptian border westward across North Africa to Mauritania. A.H. Godby says Jerome 340 through 420 AD, one of the 4 doctors of the church, wrote that the Jews were spread from the western extremity of Mauritania to India. Now, ancient Mauritania included part of the territory on the Atlantic Ocean, Morocco, and part of modern Algeria. It is certain that the Jews had migrated all across North Africa by the 2nd century. Some scholars fix the date earlier than this. The Greek historian and geographer Susabo, 63 BC through 24 AD, said concerning the Jews of Cyrene, Libya, "Now these Jews already have gotten into all cities, and it is hard to find a place in the habitable earth that has not admitted this tribe of men and is not possessed by it. And it has come to pass that Egypt and Cyrene, as having the same governors, and a great many other nations imitate their way of living, maintain great bodies of these Jews in a peculiar manner, a privileged status, and grow up to greater prosperity with them, and make use of the same laws which that maintain that nation also. After the fall of the Carthaginian metropolis in North Africa, Roman power became dominant in the Barbary states. Under Roman sovereignty and power, the Jews of Asia and North Africa rebelled in AD 115. The Jews considered themselves numerous enough to challenge Roman authority in the case and in the east and the south. Because of their numbers, the Jews almost subdued their adversaries, who had compelled them to suffer many atrocities and indignities. Emperor Trajan sent his general Turbo to bring law and order. Instead of bringing law and order, the act of suppression of the insurrection brought a massacre. The suppression of the rebellion under the slogan, law and order may be good. In principle, it may be good in principle, but a good thing may be carried too far. So it was in this case. The pagan and the Romans attacked the Jews indiscriminately, both the Judean soldiers and the uninvolved peaceful population without mercy. As a result of this merciless attack, many Jews fled to those parts of Northwest Africa known as Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Mauritania. Many other Jews fled to the areas where Rome did not have any jurisdiction. This was to the region of the south, the Sahara Desert, and the Sudan. Grazo says, such is the explanation of how the Sahara Desert first acquired Judean tribes toughened by a fighting tradition and possessed of physical characteristics, being black, which it is said still make them approximate, very close to the original Judean population of Palestine. The Jewish or the Judeans are an omnipresent people. They seem to exist everywhere. At the beginning of the 6th century, they are found in Spain before the Mohammedan conquest. Spain is known to the Jews as the classical land of crypto-Judaism, known to the Jews or Judeans because they faked Christianity but practiced Judean rituals in secret. As early as the Roman period, the Jews of Spain had been large in number and influential. Many of them claimed to be descendants of noble Judeans in Jerusalem who had been carried into exile by General Titus. After the Visigoth, a Germanic tribe, after the Visigoth invasion, the situation ameliorated for the Jews because of the Visigoths adopted the Atean form of Christianity and they favored the Jews. However, when they converted to Catholicism, they became zealous like any other neophytes. King Recared ascended to the throne in 589. This is the beginning of the harsh religious enactments against the Judeans. When King Sisbat occupied the throne, there was a prevalence of the utmost religious fanaticism. In 616 AD, a big shock came. The king ordered the baptism of all the Jews in his domain under the penalty of expulsion and the loss of all their property. According to the Catholic authorities, 90,000 embraced Christianity at this time. This was forced baptism. In the 7th century, the Jews were threatened with the penalty of slavery if they were found practicing their Israelite customs. This cruel policy caused many Jews to flee to the Mediterranean and western coast of Africa. The southernmost point of Spain, after you cross the sea, leads you to the northern or the western coast of Africa. Throughout the Middle Ages, many European governments expelled the Judeans. These black Judeans migrated to neighboring countries, Turkey and Africa. All right, family. All right. That was a nice piece of historical review from 70 AD all the way up into the mid 6th century. That was wonderful. It gives us clarity. It shows us the migration patterns of the Judeans after they were expelled from the homeland of Jerusalem in 70 AD, and how we filtered throughout northern Africa and began to go westward and southward through the Sudan to the western coast, and eventually down as far as Angola and South Africa. All praises, family. So we are filling in some of those holes of understanding of our personal history as it accords or is afforded by world history. We are the Israelites. We are the 12 tribes of the house of Jacob. We are under a holy covenant. We are currently in exile from our homeland for the disobedience to the holy covenant until the return of the Holy King Messiah to gather us out of all nations and bring us back to the Holy Land. That is who we are. That is who we be. That is what it is. And all praises, family. My definite pleasure to be with you and make presentation. Lord willing, I shall return, and we will continue upon this series of expansion and review so that we may reclaim and fortify our identities, our law, our wisdom, our order of operation. And to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, as well as my brothers and sisters in the earth, my continuous petition and prayer for your care and safety as we persevere and endure, so that we may overcome and be right, righteous, and ready upon the return of the Holy King Messiah. I love you. I love you. I love you. Until we are together again, this is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verses 6 through 9. For we are a holy people unto the Lord our God. The Lord our God has chosen us to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon us, nor choose us because we were more in number than any people, for we were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved us, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has the Lord brought us out with a mighty hand and redeemed us out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord our God, he is God, the faithful God, which keeps covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. And to the scattered tribes, here is your promise of comfort. Book of John, chapter 3, verses 14 through 17, into Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Verse 17, for God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded. World without end.